I'm not exactly a Sherlock Holmes aficionado, but I did read a collection of Conan Doyle short stories and a couple of the principal novels when I was a junior in high school. I've always loved the character of Holmes. Brilliant, observant, driven, and yet fiercely antisocial and demeaning, Holmes fills the need for the hero to deserve my praise and yet simultaneously to invoke my pity. The stories are told from the perspective of Dr. Watson. The reason is twofold. First, very few people are actually as brilliant as Holmes. This potentially included his creator at times. When Conan Doyle needed Holmes to deduce something that the author wasn't sure how he would know, the author could quietly skip over that, since it was from the perspective of the thoroughly human Dr. John Watson. I've been rewatching the first 3 seasons of the television show House MD in the evenings. Even though I'm not a Sherlock Holmes expert, I do enjoy the character, and I was somewhat embarrassed when I was reading an article about television shows inspired by the Victorian detective, and I had never realized that House was based on Holmes. There were false clues that kept me from recognizing Holmes in this disguise. House has a team, Holmes works alone. House has a limp, Holmes is fully able-bodied. House is a middle-aged man, Holmes was, in most of the stories, fairly young. 27 in Study in Scarlet, 35 in Hound of the Baskervilles. In this movie, there's no mistaking Holmes, though. Even if his name had been changed, he is his classic self. He's rude, terse, and uncompromising. Even in the attempt to keep his friends close, he ends up driving them away. However, even though Holmes is recognizable, the story format is not. Instead of following our favorite physician, the story follows Holmes himself. In the stories, we only learn about things Holmes does without Watson if Watson drags the details out of him. In Hound of the Baskervilles, Watson thinks that he has been sent to the mansion in order to solve the case while Holmes attends to business in London, only to discover at the end of the story that Holmes has been staying in a cave in the bog the entire time, all but ignoring the tedious and exhaustive notes that Watson sent so that Holmes can solve the case without him by observing the families through a telescope. We, as the reader, learn all of this at the same time that Dr. Watson does. The movie, in contrast, follows Holmes into every alleyway, telling us all his secrets as to how he deduced every mystery. This isn't the way a Sherlock Holmes story is supposed to be told. Yet, there's something compelling about it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I understand why telling the story this way is fun for both writer and audience. I just hope that someday someone can write a Sherlock Holmes movie that does that part the way I think is right.